Peace and blessings, family. I'm your brother in the struggle, Alifullah, coming to you today, October the 14th, 2021, on the subject of part 1, is it possible that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is still physically alive? Now, before we get into this, I would like to give a little clarity on the subject matter. One, whether you believe or disbelieve that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is still physically alive does not negate the fact that there is only one holy nation of Islam, the one universal flag. As believers, it's natural that we're going to have different opinions on different subjects. And of course, we're allowed and expected to present our arguments in an intelligent and respectful way, as our lessons teaches us. A Muslim knows what to say, how to say it, when to say it, where to say it, whom to say it to. 24 Principles of Islam. So on this subject, I'm going later on in the course of this. My niyat, or my intention, is to share with you some behind the scenes information, if you will. It's kind of old, actually. It's from years ago, but it's basically a series of correspondence between me and my beloved elder and brother and mentor and teacher, Brother Jabril Muhammad, also known as Bernard Kushmir. We disagreed in a brotherly, loving, respectful way. I never thought less of my brother. He never thought less of me. Our correspondence was mutually keeping the law and its messenger out front. We presented each other with questions, comments, and suggestions, and it was a meaningful and respectful dialogue. So I'm gonna share certain parts with that. He published a book many years ago called "Is It Possible the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is Still Physically Alive?" And I published a book many years ago titled "Is It Possible the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is Still Physically Dead?" So we juxtaposed the two theologies, and I basically let him speak for himself, because his historical record, his pioneering efforts, his book itself, which I highly recommend that you read, is full of wisdom. I mean, and basically, while I personally do not believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is still physically alive, I do believe that the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is still physically alive. I do believe that the mind of man was never born and it never dies. So I believe that the mental acumen of Messenger Elijah Muhammad is still made manifest through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who I recognize as the international representative of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But that also does not make me ignore or negate the fact that the Honorable Silas Muhammad has stood up and helped resurrect this holy nation of Islam. Brother, my minister, Minister Jeremiah Shabazz, thoughts of peace be upon him, did his work. They all do their parts. Now, I mean, I disagree with Imam Warfdeen Muhammad, but I can't disrespect that man. I appreciate that man's work. I understand the context that he worked in, the fulfillment of prophecy that each individual had to go through. Now, I mean, I just love the messenger's teachings. It's just that as a student, my position is to keep the messenger's message out front, because I personally believe that the messenger's message will help guide us through this age of mess. So we're going to get into some of the spiritual sciences of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings, his death, some of the theories that's out there. There's some other scholars that I respect out there. I believe I'm going to touch on some of them also, because they did some noteworthy works out there that I would be remiss if I didn't, give them their props and shine the light on their works, because it helped in understanding what was going on. So we're going to get deep into the science of that. I mean, I just want y'all to understand that we're going to look at some of the messenger quotes. We're going to look at the science. We're going to look at the birth, the life, the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. and how, you know, things took place. Some things we know, some things we don't know. I personally know there's things that I simply don't know, and I'm humble enough to toss my hat before those that do know, and I'm humble enough to respect my elders and the pioneers that paved the way for me. So we're going to share some jewels. You know what I mean? And as always, we welcome your questions, your comments, your suggestions, even your criticisms. And I don't expect you to, you know, get into arguments and debates over it. That's not the purpose of this. Now, I mean, the purpose of it is for us to, as believers, look at our belief, look at our knowledge, look at our wisdom, and look at our understanding, so that we can have a meeting of the minds and come to some form of spiritual unity, so that we can continue to uphold that holy flag of Islam, freedom, justice, and equality. Peace and blessings, family. Part 1.